Choices in isolation and other things drama school won't tell you. Chapter 5. The wrong actor for the right part. Perhaps the most frustrating aspect of the system is seeing roles you know you should have, at the very least, been auditioned for, go to actors who are fundamentally wrong for them. Not because they are untalented, but because those opportunities are earmarked for them. I have helped friends from major agencies self-tape for roles they were completely wrong for, often too young, wrong physically, or completely off type. Meanwhile, I, or actors like me who fit the breakdown perfectly, never even heard about them. This happens because of the practice of packaging or shoehorning. When an agent has a star client attached to a project, they use that leverage to get other clients from their books into supporting roles. It's not about finding the best actor for the job, it's about maximising the agency's cut across the entire production. The inherent bias within the UK industry has a specific, grating dialect for Scottish, Irish and Welsh actors as well. They are consistently passed over for leading roles in their own stories, only to watch English actors deliver a butchered Frankenstein's monster of an accent that is hailed as flawless in the press. What? The irony is salt in the wound. My Scottish colleagues receive breakdowns demanding flawless Hull, flawless American, or flawless RP accents, etc. Skills they have honed since childhood by consuming a media landscape dominated by English and American voices. They are considered versatile enough to authentically portray us. But we are not trusted to authentically portray them. Not by a long shot. But here is the most telling part of this bias. It is so powerful that it even trumps the influence of a powerhouse agency. We've all seen it. A talented Scottish actor represented by one of the top 5 agencies is still passed over for a major Scottish role in favour of an English actor on the same agency's books. This reveals a brutal hierarchy. Within these agencies, an English lead is often still considered a safer, more bankable commercial prospect than a Scottish one, even for a Scottish story. The agency gets its cut either way, but the cultural authenticity is sacrificed. This isn't about individual talent, it's about a systemic lack of trust in regional authenticity, compounded by the financial safety of attaching a bankable, often English star. The result is a grotesque paradox. A Scottish actor is deemed not good enough for a leading Scottish role, while a famous English actor is shoehorned in, their struggling accent propped up by, lying to themselves. It confounds and infuriates. Why are these actors, so clearly wrong for the part, considered good enough? It really makes you scratch your head. Why has that really famous English actor with powerful representation been cast in that role? I don't know. Sarcasm aside, there is a deeply ingrained cultural bias and the perceived safety of a known commodity, even when the commodity is fundamentally the wrong fit. And it's a pandemic in this industry. The illusion of choice and the safe bet. Of course, we understand that productions need stars. They help secure funding and attract audiences. But why do all those stars seem to come from the same small pool of agencies? And why do the unknown actors who break through in major projects so often turn out to be represented by those same powerhouses? Or are quickly absorbed into their books? Look at the young actors catapulted to fame from shows like Adolescence or Heartstopper. Their rapid ascent is almost invariably chaperoned by one of the top-tier agencies. It seems dubious, because it is. We are not just up against competition from other actors, we are up against a consolidated power structure that includes the powerhouse agencies, nepotism, the fleeting fame of YouTubers and reality TV stars, and even the occasional person off the street who is cast for a moment of novelty. And what remains consistent in all these scenarios? the principal and key supporting cast within those projects will always be filled from that same small agency stable. The reason is sadly simple. Our industry is no longer run primarily by creatives. It is run by risk-averse, bottom-line capitalists. Their default setting is not artistic innovation, but financial security. In their minds, the safest bet isn't the most talented actor, but the actor from the agency they have a pre-existing relationship with. And so the same wheel turns round and round. This leads to the most glaring injustice. We all know really mediocre actors represented by powerful agents working in very high-paying jobs and stunningly talented actors working in pubs and coffee shops. This is a daily reality witnessed by thousands of professionals. To be clear, this isn't about being mean-spirited. Taste is subjective, as I've already pointed out, but when nearly everyone you meet says the same thing about an actor, there has to be a grain of truth in their mediocrity. This is really about acknowledging a systemic failure that prioritises representation over suitability and connections over craft. We see it, and it becomes increasingly difficult to get excited about yet another award-nominated TV show or film at insert any award show name, when you realise that if you emptied the glitzy room of the actors, directors and writers and replaced them with their agents, you'd be left with a shockingly small, incestuous group of people. The diversity of British talent is not reflected on our screens. The dominance of a few agencies is. Perhaps the most telling evidence is the trajectory of our own friends. We have all seen hard-working actors who have slogged for years doing the shit part-time gigs who finally secure representation with a massive agency. Suddenly, they are in TV project after TV project, film after film, theatre after theatre. They haven't magically become better actors. I see them given the same solid performances they always have. Only one thing changed: their agent. To call that a coincidence is to ignore the entire structure I've outlined in this book. We really need to be honest with ourselves. We need to stop perpetuating the lie that anyone can make it with enough grit. For the vast majority, it is a closed shop. The financial rewards for the jobs that are available to those outside the circle are vastly different, trapping the majority in a cycle of precarity. It reinforces the message that talent is secondary to connections. It is a profound demoralisation of a workforce already struggling with terrible pay and back-end deals. Congratulations! You have an offer! The money is terrible. My agent. This setup degrades the art form and makes a mockery of what we do. When this blinkered, narrow-minded casting takes place, everyone loses. Except the agency, of course. Keep your agent in houses. Overheard from a very famous agent regarding their famous client, my friend, as they were taken aside by a casting director to make offers or whatever. The agent didn't know. I overheard.